Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alex, and in today's video we're making a fully custom track headlight duct for my Ford Fiesta ST. So I'm going to show you what you need for that and how to do it. All I've got here is basically one of my old headlights. You can see from the purple what I used to have is some wrapped eyebrows on there and some really dark tints, as you can see. Well, I would say as you can see, but you can't see because of how dark they are. So this is a headlight. It's pretty old and naff. I managed to pick it up on my marketplace a little while back, but it's got cuts and all sorts. So I thought, what better way to put this to good use than it is to basically cut it out. So what we're going to do is cut this outside lens here, and then cut the back of this in here, cutting all this section out and just leaving the mounting brackets, which apparently don't exist for mine, which isn't good. At least I've got the top one up there. So allowing air to go straight into the engine bay, which will obviously help cool the engine down and get some cold air into that intake. So here I've got some Scotch Blue masking tape. You can use pretty much any masking tape because obviously it's only plastic lens. All I'm going to do is basically just mask off the area where I want it to cut, and then we'll mark it up and see how it looks. As I've gone round, I've basically started covering up the corners here, but trying to mark where I want to cut. This is just a rough guide, just so you can see obviously where to cut, so it's not too close to the edges. So that's the sort of idea I'm going for. You can see that top bit there, which will obviously follow along here, which I think will look quite nice. Obviously I'll do the rest of it now and we'll see how it looks, and then we'll measure twice and cut once, hopefully. So there we go, all masked up. We've obviously lined it out to where we want to cut. I mean, it's not completely perfect, but what I can do is obviously once it's all gutted from the inside, I can start sanding down these bits to make it more perfect. But yeah, just a line up here and then all the way around, so then that bit in the middle is going to get cut. So I reckon we start cutting now. So I've got this, I'm pretty sure it's called an oscillating multi-tool, but I'm just going to call it a multi-tool. Basically what this does, just cuts it like that. So I'm hoping I don't mess this up, but yeah, I'm gonna just basically go like that. I guess it goes this way, doesn't it? Like that. And then we're gonna cut. So wish me luck, make sure I got my goggles on. Boom. One lens off, or half a lens anyway. So as you can see, it's all cut out. I actually quite like the idea of having the exposed insides there and then having the top of it there. I did miss a few times and kind of like scratched it off, but I could always rewrap that anyway. So yeah, now we basically want to cut the back of this out and then we have a duct, hopefully. There's still a little bit of plastic obviously here that I need to clear off. The masking tape I've tried to take off as much as I can, but I haven't done a very good job with cutting. I am not a tradesman, so I'm pretty shit. But it's for track, it doesn't really matter. As long as the cold air's going in, functioning, I'm happy. So yeah, next thing is to cut the back of this, take the bulbs out. So it looks like I'm going to have to cut out all of this section going along here at the top. That's probably going to be my best bet to do it. I don't know how I'm even going to cut this bit out yet, but we'll see how we get there on. There she blows. Just a little bit of twisting to get this last bit off. There we go. And that's the inside's gutted. Look at the state of that. Boom! With lens. Still need to take this part out of the bottom, but that's the majority of it all out. So we've just kind of got an empty headlight. Cool! So I've got this out finally. So I've cut this bit out, so we're now left with just a lens and then the bracket to hold it. I have to work something out for this part here. But obviously now I might just neaten it up a little bit, kind of fix this end piece because it's not really doing much, and then yeah, see how it gets on. Okay, now everything's done. I've kind of cleared up that edge there because it looked a bit silly, and then we've got the open bit there. Now it just requires a bit of sanding, and then yeah, we could probably get this either wrapped or painted. So yeah. So after a long enduring time of using the multi-tool, I've managed to cut out pretty much all of it now. I've sanded it as well and just kind of like trimmed off the edges. Obviously with the sandpaper I've kind of just got in there with my hand, and I've just basically made it so it's nice and, you know, nice to touch. With the multi-tool it doesn't really do any justice, it's like really sharp on the edges when it cuts, but yeah, I've basically just smoothed it off with sandpaper and used an electric sander. You don't have to go to this much detail when sanding it off, but I thought it looked quite nice, and it's my first time doing it. I thought I'll give it a go, make it look nice, but you can see the duct's open now. I extended it a bit more because it looked a bit silly, so I thought just cut it out to the far end, and yeah. So the plan is now is just prep it ready for paint, spray that black, and then we might wrap it carbon as well, but we'll see. See what it looks like when it's black and on the car. If it needs a wrap, then we'll wrap it carbon as well, because I thought that would look quite nice. Then it'll definitely stand out a bit more, but yeah. So it did cross my mind to either spray or wrap it. In the end I did go for the carbon wrap instead. I spoke with Steve, he said he could do it for £30, which is a good fair price, and I didn't actually have to spray it for a base coat. So here's Steve just wrapping it over with a bit of gloss black along the top to neaten it up a little bit, and then the carbon wrap going on top. So yeah, really impressed with the result. So we got the headlight back from wrapping, and jeez, look at that, doesn't that look good? It's nice to have a little carbon effect. Obviously I had the idea of going to spray this, but obviously paint can chip. Yeah, and to be honest, this looks a lot better. And for 30 quid, can't really argue with that. Still gonna get the nice cold air feed coming in. But yeah, really nice. So let's fit it to the car. So all you have to do is that bolt there, and that headlight unit comes straight out. So I'm gonna do that now. Oh no. I can get the B-roll. Oh, lovely, like a hot knife through butter. And like that, with a simple connection on the plug, little wiggle, that's out, and that should come out. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now you need to just align the headlight. Like that. Unfortunately I snapped the bracket there on the headlight, so that's got nothing to go into, but I've drilled a very convenient hole that I can then zip tie to there. So that's in like that. You can chuck that one in. And like that, boom, she's in. Oh my god, I'm tripping over the D-wall. Oh yeah. Obviously it's a bit loose here now at the moment, but obviously with that bonnet sitting that down, that looks quite nice. The cold air will go straight in there. Also it'll cool down the engine as well, because you've got the cold air feeding through that as well. Direct air, cold air, dense air, more sucks, more squeeze, more bang, more power baby. So yeah, a lot colder intake temps as well. So guys, hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. Obviously if you want to do that with your car, whether it's a Fiesta or another track car, same application, you do the same method, just cut it out. Hopefully this video helps if you've done it yourself. If you've enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you drop a comment, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!